What's up, everybody? Welcome to Building Our Power. This is Gabby.
And KT.
And we are back with another episode. Today, we are going to be discussing the T.I. Tiny allegations and tie it to a bigger, wider conversation about consent. What is consent and when those lines are blurred? So, unless you've been living under a rock, you have heard about the recent allegations about Tiny and T.I. It started out with accuser Sabrina Peterson, who was I guess, a friend of the family, and she came out and said pretty much that T.I. pulled a gun out on her and threatened her, and was pretty much just telling her story. And from there, it kind of started this tidal wave of victims coming out and talking about some of the sexual violence that they endured under T.I. and Tiny. So, um, it says rapper T.I. and his wife Tiny have denied claims of sexual assault and facilitating sexual abuse after Atlanta resident Sabrina Peterson posted screenshots to her Instagram story of direct messages from over 24 alleged victims. The accusers claim that T.I. and Tiny Harris pressured them to take drugs, to take off their clothes, and to have sex with them or others present. Some say they lost consciousness while with T.I. or in Tiny, or woke up without remembering the previous night. Peterson began posting the allegations to her Instagram on January 28th after she previously alleged that T.I. held her at gunpoint. So pretty much now, almost daily now, there's been an accuser coming out pretty much detailing what they've gone through. And while the specifics of a lot of the stories are different, some of the main things that are coming out are that T.I. and Tiny pay these people to engage in sex with them, which there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, we're all for that. There's nothing unconsensual about paying somebody to have sex. But the illegality comes in when they say that they show up to the place and they're pretty much being coerced or pressured into taking drugs. So obviously nobody's forcing a drug on them, but when there's a financial obligation and you have power as a celebrity, you have power and influence, you trying to coerce somebody into taking drugs is going to hold more weight, and somebody might be more likely to partake in the drugs because of your status. So, in some of them, a lot of them, they were coercing to taking drugs, pills, cocaine, and they had sex, which, okay, that right there is iffy. But with a lot of them also, they said that they were forced to take so many drugs that they woke up in whole other locations and they don't even know where they were. They don't remember anything about that night. Some of them said that they were just, supposed to be engaging with T.I. and Tiny, and they wake up next to a whole other person, a man that they did not consent to having sex with. And so that's pretty much the main thing about it. They were drugging these women, having sex with them, and then once they were under the influence of drugs, they talked about being coerced to engage in sexual acts that they were not 100% comfortable with. But because of the influence of drugs, obviously you're going in and out of consciousness, and your ability to say no or to speak up is limited in some instances. So that's kind of the whole gist of it. So now T.I. has come out and pretty much said, these were all consensual relationships. I don't need nobody up in my bedroom. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And yada, 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 yada. So what do you think about it, KT? I know you read some of the allegations and have just kind of been skimming through some of the topics or whatever. What do you think about consent and just this whole thing, do you think that there's a case that they are actually engaging in some type of crime?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, to make a really long story short, yeah, I definitely think that there's a case, and I say that because of the fact that it's there's multiple people with the same story. There's multiple people with the same story who's being told or who has told, like, hey, this is what happened with T.I. and Tiny whenever I was with them. Me and my friend, we showed up. We were forced to take drugs. We were forced to do this. We were forced to do that. And if we didn't do that, then we knew we weren't going to be able to, leave with the money that we were promised. And I think that's another conversation that we don't really have in and around like sex work. Like capitalism kind of forces us to do whatever it is that that person wants us to do for the sake of like a dollar, because we know that we're guaranteed that money at the end as a sex worker if we perform what they need us to perform, and we may not get that, right? So we may not get that money if we don't do what they say. So it's kind of like a coercion in that sense too, because you're underneath the pressure of like, okay, well, if I don't get this money, or if I don't do this, I'm not going to be able to afford to live this week, And so that's a whole nother conversation. But I do think that there's definitely a case. I think T.I. and Tiny are disgusting and horrible, awful people. It's just, I don't know, it's crazy. When I was reading it, it's traumatic. You don't want to read that type of stuff, especially if you have your own trauma behind it. And so it's just like, what do you say to people who are like pro T.I. and Tiny? Like there's people on Twitter right now, I'm sure, that are talking about how T.I. and Tiny, that's not a legitimate thing, and it's just people trying to talk bad about them. The same way they did with like Bill Cosby, the same way they did with Weinstein, the same way that they did with any rapist. And I think the conversation really needs to be about consent with us, at least, like in this environment. We need to talk about how what they did was not something that they initially consented to, and people are allowed to change how they feel and what is happening to them during the moment. I think that's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about consent.
Right. And then that brings to this, what is the end, why were and are, is apparently in all these sexual encounters, why are they always trying to force drugs upon somebody? You know what I'm saying? If we're going to get down, we're going to get down. If I want to take something, if I was in that situation, if I wanted to get high and do something, okay, that's on me. But why are they always trying to over drug these women? And that's what's kind of indefensible. If it was just like, yeah, we came over there, turned up, and things happened. But no, in all of the things, they're like, they forced me to take X pill. They forced me to do, or not for, but they like practically forced me to do cocaine. They kept trying to pop us with pills. One lady said this one girl was passed out, barely had a pulse. She was so high. This other one said she felt like she was dying. They got her so drugged up. So I think that definitely is what, when we're talking about consent, because they're acting like things are so muddy. It's only muddy if you're guilty of doing the same thing. Because if I know I'm trying to, engage in something legal, I have no reason to overdrug somebody. We either gonna do it or we not. In my opinion, the purpose of drugging somebody is so they can't remember what's about to go down. Why don't you want them conscious when y'all engaging in something that y'all agreed upon?
So, yeah, and let's be honest, if someone isn't conscious whenever you're engaging in sex with them, that's called rape.
Yep.
They cannot consent at that point. That's not consensual sex. At that point, it turns into rape. Yes, they may have consented initially, but once you have gotten to the point where they're no longer conscious, that's not sex, and it's not consensual sex because they no longer have the ability to consent. So let's talk about consent, Gabby. Let's talk about what consent actually is. So consent is when that person has bodily autonomy of themselves. Consent is when you both can verbally say, yes, we want to do this at the same time. Okay? And you have to be aware of you saying it. They cannot be drunk, high, any of that if they're not in their right mind. They can't. You just can't consent during those times. And yeah. So again, I mean, the conversation that people are having around this is gross. It's traumatic. I don't really know what else to say other than it's really traumatic for the women, the black women that it's happened to. And it's really just traumatic to even think about, really. If any, because the only people I'm really seeing that are not pro the people that this happened to are men. Are majority cishet men who are saying, oh, this didn't happen to them. This didn't happen to them. They're lying. They're just trying to get clout. They're just doing this. They're just doing that. And it's just like, y'all are fucking disgusting.
Literally.
And men, if there are cishet men that are listening to this, you really need to hold your other cishet men accountable and talk to them. Because this is what continues rape culture. This is what continues the thought that people shouldn't have consent. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember listening to Clubhouse, and this one guy was like, well, see, I think this opens up a slippery slope, because what if y'all agree on something? I can't get a little tipsy with my woman, and we agree on something, and what if she just change her mind because she has second thoughts, and then that next night, when she wake up, she has second thoughts and be like, well, I didn't consent to that. These people, in order to divert from the conversation that we're having, they go to the most extreme.
Literally.
Like, you were having sex with somebody, they were like, yes, I want to do this. And then they're like, ugh, I can't believe I did that. I don't consent. How many times does it happen? It don't. And that's not even what we're talking about right now. We're talking about drugging people to an almost vegetative state, having sex with them, bringing in somebody else to have sex with them, putting them in leaving them in their own vomit and excrements. And you're saying that is consensual, and that's what that person signed up for when they said they were going to get money. And we can also talk about, there's a financial aspect, but also a lot of these women were up and coming, trying to get into the entertainment business. Oh. And these people know that they prey on people who want a leg up, kind of like the R. Kelly thing. Mm-hmm. Prey on people who are trying to get into the entertainment business. T.I., Tiny, they can help me. So T.I. and Tiny know this, so they go to the models, the strippers, the singers, the entertainers, and be like, I'm sure they probably promise I can help you with some connections or whatever. And even after they've been abused, because T.I. and Tiny have that clout in the community, a lot of them said, I just moved away from the city because I didn't want to have to deal with the backlash if I came out and told my story. I didn't even want to deal with being harassed.
And that's sad. That is so
And that's what's going on right now. You got 30-something people coming out with similar narratives, similar backgrounds, and people are still saying there's no way that not one time did something unconsensual happen. You know why? Because we are obsessed with celebrities, and we are obsessed with patriarchy, and a man somehow, every woman has been 9 times out of 10 at least sexually harassed. A lot have been sexually abused, but don't nobody know a sexual harasser and a sexual abuser. So what does that tell you?
Somebody lying.
Somebody is lying. But yet when any allegation comes out, Even with these statistics, we still gonna say, yeah, that lady probably lied. We have got to do better. And I'm gonna put this out to the black community. Oh my God. We got a video coming out soon called Abolish Celebrity. This stronghold that black celebrities have on our community will be the detriment and will continue to be the detriment. We are upholding these black capitalists who don't give two cares about the community. They may do a little nonprofit here or there. They're over here, and don't forget, T.I. was over there saying he checked his daughter's hymen, said he spends time with his daughters so that they won't be thoughts. That was a red flag right there. These people show you who they are. Why are we so gung-ho on defending these people? These will be the same one you get shot and killed, be saying you deserved it. Be saying we need cops. Be saying Atlanta is Wakanda. Don't burn it down. We have got to do better. Our accountability has got to do better. We have to protect our black women. If you ain't for protecting black women, we cannot be in community together. We over here talking about building a communist society, building the black communist society or whatever communist. White people too. White communists with their trash ways. We ain't gonna be able to build jack diddly squat if y'all can't even call out the man that's over there harassing the women in the corner. We gotta do better. But yeah, I hope that, with R. Kelly, it took 30 years. I hope that with this, we can get some justice. Tory Lanez still out there saying he agree. He defends him. He over there making songs with Chris Brown. We know the way that America works. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. And I'm going to make another episode on that. Because I think that heterosexuality is also a deterrent of progress as well. Because people are so scared to speak out for fear that they ain't going to get chose or whatever. But we'll go to that later.
We don't talk to Straggots over here.
Straggots! But yeah, do you have anything you wanted to add about the situation or consent or or leftist trash ways or whatever?
No, not really. I mean, I think that people like that do not deserve to be in the community. People like that need to be deplatformed. They need to be removed and taken any kind of money or funds that they have and just completely redistribute it. They don't deserve anything in this world. If you can treat women like that, or if you can treat people like that, period, you deserve nothing. You deserve nothing. You deserve to sit in the corner for the rest of your life.
Yep. You deserve to have all your resources stripped away. You deserve to have all your power, your platform stripped away. Everything. Because you don't value human life. So why should we value yours? Bye. Anyways, in my utopian communist societies, rapists and abusers have their genitalia cut off, and
oh my God,
they have to live on a remote island for about a year and come back when they get some sense. Oh, one quick thing. I saw something that made me want to slap somebody.
Oh.
I'm in that mood today. Oh! So we know little JoJo Siwa came out. She's 18 years old. She said, I'm queer.
Go her.
Awesome. Great. I'm glad she's finally able to live her truth. We caught that like a year ago.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. I go to this black woman. Well, my kids ain't finna watch JoJo Siwa no more. Well, who gives a cares, first of all? But secondly, these folks getting too grown. She need to stay for her children's eye, something like that. I'm like, this girl's 18 years old. What are you talking about? And these people think that just by saying, I have a girlfriend and I'm a girl, or I am attracted to girls, it's finna become Pornhub.com on Nickelodeon. Everybody finna be butt naked, twerking and kissing and all types of stuff. Like, y'all are out of your mind. And then after that, I scroll down on the comments because I'm just trying to get riled up. Some stud on there commented, I bet y'all still listen to R. Kelly though. And the OP gonna say, sure do. So you're not let's get this straight. You're not going to let your daughter watch a little kiddie show because the person that is acting in the kiddie show is attracted to women. That's it. But you will listen to, support, and make money for a serial pedophile. And I can't do it. I promise. Stuff like that make me be like, I'm finna go to a remote island and F just the rest of the world because y'all, some people just lost cause, but I have to have faith. But then the stud said, shaking my head, that's terrible. Like that don't make sense. And then the girl gonna say, well, we always knew you was gay. You know we got love for you. You know I ain't got nothing wrong against gay people. Really? And then the stud gonna say, ha ha ha, I know. People. I can't. I promise to God. That's my thing, man. And we want to think that things will change. Maybe this time there'll be justice for black women. They can't even have justice for kids. You could be a whole pedo and nobody cares. You can be slapping, raping, murdering black women and nobody cares. So who am I to expect any different? All I can say is, for us, when I get my billions of dollars, I'm going to create a utopian society for all the black, trans, and queer, and women who are not TERFs to live the rest of our lives. Because this little dumpster fire on earth we got right here, I don't know what to tell you.
Hallelujah.
All right, that's the end of Gabby's rants for the day. But okay, now we finna be over it. This has been Building Our Power. Make sure you hit us up on social media. KT at KT_does art. Gabby at Gabbeats Music. GABBEATS Music. And Building Our Power at Building Our PWR on all social media channels. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Share this with a friend if you agree. Comment below. Let us know what you think. And we're out.